Hello, welcome to this month's live taping of the Star Coach Show. Every month, we go live for one taping of the show. And if you're listening to this on our regular platform and you're wondering, when did the taping occur? Put on your calendars the third Thursday of every month at 1 p.m. Central, and then join me live either at Star Coach Show on YouTube, the Star Coach Facebook page, or my feed at LinkedIn. And you can join our live taping that will go live the next Wednesday on the Star Coach Show. So it's delightful to have you here. I'm Meg Rentschler, and today we are going to dive into the concept of curiosity. Before we sort of dive into what curiosity brings and sometimes the pitfalls of knowing too much, I do want to ask, wherever you're listening to the show, subscribe so that you never miss a minute of what comes out from the Star Coach Show, and so that you are able to get our shorts. Particularly if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure that you subscribe, because we have shorts coming out all the time, different tips and strategies for leaders and coaches to be the best you can be in your way of communication, in motivating people. So many tips and tricks, and you want to be aware of those. The best way to be aware of those is to take a moment to subscribe, and then you will get notice whenever anything new comes. So whether you're listening to us in our regular feed or you're watching live with us right now, welcome, and let's explore the dangers of knowing and how curiosity can save the day. Now, the reality is our expertise, our experiences, our perspective are often our claim to fame. They are what have gotten us where we are, created the success that we have in our lives, and we tend to be proud of that. We're proud of what we have to offer and how we can help move people forward with our expertise. So what possible dangers can there be in knowing? Well, the reality is curiosity often holds greater value than simply giving people the answer. When we know and we just stay in the place of what we know, there's not an opportunity for continuous learning, for innovation, for challenging ourselves into new growth, possibly new perspective. Additionally, when we stay curious just a bit longer in our interactions with others, it challenges them to bring their best to the table, to enhance their engagement. So if we are in a place of being a leader, maybe we are in a situation where we're leading a discussion, whether it's in work, in community, in our families. If we slow down and offer others' contribution, invite others to contribute, and ask questions, ask those open-ended questions like, what do you have that you'd like to share to this, to add to the conversation? What's your experience with X, Y, and Z? How do you want to potentially add to the discussion that we're having? That challenges people's brains. And when we stay in a place of knowing versus curiosity, we don't challenge other people to bring their ideas to the table. We are just giving our ideas. Additionally, if we don't stay in a place of curiosity and openness, we might be living in a belief system that might not work for us as well as it used to, but we're in it because it's what we've always believed to be true. How are we challenging our beliefs? How are we challenging the way that we're showing up in a way that continues to grow and stretch? So when we think about the value that curiosity brings in enhancing the engagement of others, building collaborative teams, challenging others to join the problem solving process, which therefore will increase the likelihood of success because when we are a part of the solution, when we as leaders invite others into the solution, the likelihood of success increases because I'm going to be far more engaged as an employee in a solution that I contributed to. So, over the next few minutes, let's go ahead and highlight a few advantages of a curious mind, understanding that this is not minimizing expertise. It's not minimizing that you have value to bring to the table as well through your experiences, through your expertise. But it's about balance. It's about when do I offer before I listen? How how do I respect the fact that, especially if you're in a place of power somehow as a leader, even those of you who are coaches who are listening, even though coaching is a partnership where ideally the client is solidly in the driver's seat and solidly determining the outcome and what they want to gain from the situation, you're still in a bit of a place of a power differential in that your clients are likely to look at you and the expertise that you bring forward and want that to help guide them. And and so it's about balance. How are we staying in a place of challenging the other person to bring their thoughts forward, asking just a few questions more as a leader, staying in a place of inquiry and reflection as a coach to help harvest what the other person has to offer? How are we harvesting and believing in them that they can bring their best forward before we go to plant our own seeds? Because what I know to be true is if there is that situation of potentially the other person looking up to you as a leader, looking up to you as a coach, and you offer your suggestions before you let their own creativity come out and shine strong, then you planting might shut down their own creativity. So I want to honor your expertise, your experience, and your perspective as a leader, as a coach. And I want to lean into what does a curious mind add to the overall outcome and to the discussion. So let's start with the fact that a curious mind fuels innovation. Now, curiosity really prompts each of us to explore new ideas and solutions, which could lead to new and different breakthroughs and advancements. When we're really interested in other people's ideas, in when we invite people to the discussion, we invite people to the table, that is going to lead to richer and wider options and opportunities and perspectives. My coaching students hear me say regularly, we come to the conversation with a small lens, a lens of the way that we're looking at it, the way that we see it. What curiosity does, what questions do, is begin to expand that lens. And the bigger the lens is, the more creative ideas, possibilities, and opportunities can fit within that lens. The wider our lens, the more opportunity. Now, one of my favorite leadership principle books is The Leadership Challenge. If you're unfamiliar with the Leadership Challenge, I strongly encourage you to explore it. One of the commitments of leadership through the research outlined in the Leadership Challenge is that, and this is a quote, leaders search for opportunities by seizing the initiative and by looking outward for innovative ways to improve. Well, curiosity is going to fuel that willingness to search for those new opportunities. So, the first advantage we're looking at through that curious mindset is that it fuels innovation. The second thing that curiosity does, and that staying in a place of knowing, and that I already have all the answers and I already know everything, curiosity encourages lifelong learning. And when we're in that place of being open to new information, being open to new experiences, and fostering ongoing education for ourselves, it invites us to explore what's available. Am I just going to blindly believe whatever I'm told or whatever, my stream, my lane sort of offers me? Or am I willing to test my assumptions, to explore what does research tell us, what's available around whatever topic it is, and what new perspective might I explore? So I challenge you as we think about lifelong learning, how can you reach beyond your comfort zone to explore a new idea or a new perspective and allow your curiosity to open up new possibility? So number one, fuels innovation. Number two, it encourages lifelong learning. What's the third benefit of a curious mindset? That in fact, if we just stay in knowing and have no curiosity, it shuts it down. The third benefit is that it enhances our problem-solving skills. When we question the status quo, when we stay curious to develop a deeper understanding, we become more creative to solutions to the challenges in front of us. When leaders are open to challenging their employees to add to the solution rather than the knee-jerk reaction of, oh, been there, done that, do this. I get that, do this, without any questions, without any exploration, without any challenge to the other person to add to the solution. You're encouraging learned helplessness. I can't come up with a solution. I always have to go to my leader and be spoon-fed the solution. When in fact, we stay in a place of curiosity and wonder, well, what have you already tried? What about this is important to you? What is it that you're trying to achieve with this? Even though, yes, I get it. You've walked the path, you have answers. Often I hear from my coaching students, but what if I know what the person should do for whatever problem? Let me get caught in that. Can you do this? Have you thought about this? Why don't you do this? That is us completely taking over problem solving and letting go of the belief that the other person is whole and resourceful and creative and they've done things before that they could do again. If we can help clear the fog, clear the overwhelm, and believe through our questions that they can add to the problem solving. When we avoid learned helplessness, as a leader, we build stronger teams because we begin to build the muscle of the other person tapping into their own resourcefulness. And then what we're doing is building a team of people who are adding to the solution. I often hear from leaders who engage in more curiosity how pleasantly surprised they were when they stayed out of knowing, they stayed in curiosity, invited collaborative problem solving, that the solution was even better than something that they would have just knee-jerk reaction offered. So with that, be aware that if you want to enhance your own problem solving skills, enhance the ability to solve problems as a team, to be more engaged with your employees, invite them into the problem solving through your curiosity, through wondering what they might add to the overall perspective. There are many paths towards a solution, and our knowing can sometimes keep us stuck and blinders on of what else might be available. So curiosity can be the key to unlock those blinders, to open up, and to create a far more vibrant solution with far more buy-in. Because, as I mentioned earlier, when we're a part of the solution, we're that much more bought into engaging in the solution. We avoid that ping pong match of do this. Yeah, I've tried that. That doesn't work. Well, do this. Yeah, that's this X, Y, and Z. But if in fact, I wonder, what have you already tried? What is it that you're trying to achieve? How does that align with what we're all trying to achieve together? When we're staying in that place of discussion and possibility together, oh my goodness, the magic opens up. So we are 3 into the opportunities that curiosity brings. And that while, yes, your knowing is valuable, if you live in the world of knowing and are not open up to the possibilities that others bring and what a curious mind opens up, you could be missing out on opportunity. So our number 1 was that it fuels innovation. Number 2, curiosity encourages lifelong learning. Number 3, curiosity enhances our problem solving. Number 4, curiosity builds resilience. It builds our bounce back muscle. Because what curiosity does is it allows us to adapt to changes, to once again have a wider lens that allows us to be open to new perspective, to consider other possibilities. When we are set in our ways, when we believe that there's only one solution for each challenge, and that doesn't work out, that doesn't turn out to be what we thought it was going to be, and we're stuck in that, we're not resilient. We don't have any bounce back muscles. We sort of land flat. If in fact we can build curiosity and openness to different perspective, that builds our resilience. It builds our potential to pivot in the moment, to consider other possibilities, to maybe fall down and scrape our knees, but get up again and clean those knees off and bandage them up and think, what's the next step? What's something different that I could do? How can I be open to learning more, reaching out to others to explore their perspective, to really build those muscles of being able to be flexible and fluid in the moment with what it gives us. The other thing that curiosity does, and this is our fifth point for today, curiosity strengthens our relationships. I am all about connection. I'm all about, what can we all do together to lift the ship together, right? How can we all, you know, sail through this life working together and being connected? So when we are willing to be curious, when we're willing to learn about what's important to other people, what are they adding to the equation? What's their experience? Like, how can we value what other people bring and potentially challenge other people around, you know, how true is that? What of that is truth and what of that is assumption? How can we potentially stay in a place of openness and curiosity by being truly interested in others and their experiences? And yes, we have our own perspective and our own expertise. And yet, how do we hold that off to learn about others at first? So my big thing, and last week's episode or 2 episodes ago, was all about networking and inviting people into the conversation. I have a big belief about the value of networking and what networking brings. And I believe that if you go into networking just to sort of let everybody else know about you and what's important to you and give them your business card and talk about you and what you're doing, and that's all. You're not there with genuine curiosity to learn about other people, to learn about what's bringing them to the event, to the table, whatever it is that they are bringing. When you have a genuine interest in others and their experiences, and you ask genuinely curious questions about them, you build deeper, more meaningful connections. And what does that ultimately do? That makes you more memorable. That makes the experience deeper for you and this other person. I'm not saying that you don't share about what you do and what's important to you, but if you're there, whether it's networking, whether it's a luncheon, whatever it is that you're doing, when you're meeting and connecting with other people, if you can come from a place of genuine curiosity and desire to know more about that other person and truly build the relationship, not because what can I get out of this, but because you want to know about this other person, I promise you that will pay off in the long run. I've now been in business for myself since 1990, so a long time. And I will tell you that my success, either as a therapist or as a coach or a coach instructor or a facilitator, all the things that I do is because of the relationships that I have built. Yes, there's an expertise there. There's a sharing and a connecting. But even this show, the Star Coach Show, was built out of the connections that I have made. When I started this show, I asked people that I had met through my different life experiences to come be a guest on the show because I wanted to bring value to all of you. It began with relationships. My business has been built out of people reaching out to me because of the relationships that I've established with them. So I cannot tell, and being me being genuinely curious about them and what's important to them and what they're bringing to the table and what lights them up and their families and building connection. So curiosity strengthens connection and it strengthens relationships. So, curiosity, fuels innovation. It encourages lifelong learning. It enhances our problem solving. It builds resilience, strengthens relationships, and increases engagement. Now, I talked about this a little bit through some of the other points, but we just today had a Star Power Hour, which is highlighting one of the fabulous guests from the Star Coach Show in our very dynamic, intimate Star Coach community. And if you want to know more about the community, I cannot recommend it strongly enough. And you can explore it at starcoachshow.com/community. In today's community, we had a past guest from the show, Tom Berlin, join us to talk about how do you campaign for coaching to organizations? What do you say? How do you explore the value proposition that coaching brings when you're in front of the decision makers of an organization? And a key word that came out through Tom's presentation and through our discussion in our community was that every leader wants to increase engagement, but doesn't always know how. They know the value of engagement, but they don't necessarily know how to make that happen. Like, how do I go from it being conceptual? Yes, I know that when my employees are engaged, I have decreased turnover, increased profitability, increased productivity, increased results, whatever those results are. But how the heck do I do it? So one tidbit to that, one very important tidbit to increasing engagement is to stay curious in our approach. Ask people what they're bringing to the table, what's important to them. Care about what your employees are challenged with, what it is that excites them, what lights them up. When we think about creating a curious workplace, leading from a place of wonder and curiosity, it actually makes work more enjoyable and helps people be more productive. So, if you're trying to motivate your people, if you're trying to get increased engagement and motivation, does it surprise you to know that curiosity might be the key that you're looking for? I want to reiterate, your knowing, your expertise, whether you are a leader, whether you're a coach, whether you are a parent, whether you're in the community trying to get people to listen to something that's important to you, whatever it is, wherever you are, curiosity is a connector. You being genuinely and authentically interested in what other people are offering is the bridge to break down the divide that very truthfully is so prevalent right now. That doesn't mean that there might be times that you have information, you have things that are very important and needing to be added. It's all about balance. When are we adding that? What does that look like ultimately? And how can I invite people into exploring things together, us opening our lens together? So, in conclusion today, I want to rehash the 6 highlights of key elements of curiosity that I focused on today, beginning with curiosity fuels innovation. It encourages lifelong learning. It enhances our problem-solving skills. Curiosity builds resilience, strengthens our relationships, and increases engagement. It increases connection. So while knowing really does provide, in some ways, a static snapshot of where we are at the moment, what curiosity does is it propels us towards being more dynamic in our journey of discovery, of improvement, of learning what else might be out there that I can explore. What can I, expand beyond? Is my belief supported by fact, or is it something that I'm blindly believing in that maybe doesn't serve me as well anymore? How can I use my connection and my genuine desire to learn about others and have us all do the heavy lifting together? How can we do that in a way that honors what we know to be true through research, through learning and reading, and following people who we know are kind of factual, and following what they know to be true, but also continuing to expand and grow and learn. So, as we wrap up this month's solo show with Meg Rentschler, I want to thank all of you who have been here during the taping. I hope that this gave you new perspective, something to think about. For all of you who are listening in the feed as the show goes live every Wednesday, I hope you enjoyed this look into how curiosity really can save the day, how curiosity can potentially reconnect us if we're feeling very distant or separated from others. And also, if you're a leader, how curiosity can actually strengthen your leadership, invite your people into exploring solutions together, being valued for their contribution, how in the long run it's going to help you be a better leader because you will have more time to do the things that you need to do as a leader when your people have their brains engaged and are being challenged to bring forth their best. And for all you coaches who are listening, know that you being genuinely curious, even if you think, ooh, I know what this client needs to do, challenge yourself to say, okay, that's something they might do. But right now, let me go back to being curious, to asking questions of them about how they're perceiving this situation, what's important to them about the situation, where they want to get, what piece they think is important to them, what do they want to explore, and then be in that place of evoking awareness, of listening actively, of engaging in that partnership where your client can continue to grow and expand and build their own curiosity about possibility. And you are helping them through the power of inquiry, the power of believing in them, believing that if you stay curious a little bit longer, they will appreciate the fact that you believed in them to get to where they needed to be. So this is Meg Rentschler, once again offering you strategies, tools, and resources to be the best coach you can be, to be a great leader. We do this live cast the third Thursday of every month to tape our show for the next week. So this show will go in the live feed next week. And if you want to join us, you can always join us on the third Thursday of the month for the live taping. Once again, while you're here, subscribe, whether you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're listening to us on the many platforms that we're on, subscribe. And until next week, this is Meg Rentschler wishing you the very best for your success. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be curious. We're all here to do the lifting together. Have a great week.